So I've been working on this project for about a week or two now, reaching out to people both in game, in Discord, and in real life, trying to get some thoughts on how gamers see mental health or how they perceive mental health in a gaming atmosphere. So gaming gets labeled as either super wholesome or insanely toxic, and the truth is it's both. Most of the time, it depends on the people running the space and what behavior kind of gets tolerated. And I want to talk about how gaming affects mental health, the good stuff people don't mention enough, and the bad stuff that pushes a lot of people away, sadly. So starting with the good stuff, guilds and servers. So some guilds and servers genuinely feel like support groups without calling themselves that. You've got clear rules, moderators who actually care, and people who notice when someone's disappeared for too long, whether it be a couple days or months. For a lot of people, that's their main social circle. I mean, like me, that's exactly what my situation is. So, and it matters a lot more than people realize. So my social circle is 100% online. I don't have friends outside of gaming, honestly. So this one I 100% feel for. Games for a lot of people are stress relief and almost a routine. So like for some people, gaming is how they stay grounded. Logging in every day, doing their dailies, running a couple matches on Call of Duty or whatever. It creates structure to their life. And you got to remember, escapism is not always bad. Sometimes it's just a safe way to shut your brain up for a little bit and make it feel like you're making progress when you really feel like, life is stuck, right? Another thing is streamers, content creators. A lot of them here lately, I've noticed the past like maybe 3-4 years, have been very mental health savvy. They've been doing a lot of research. They've been using it as almost like a pitch for who they are. And I mean, that's what I do. I 100% support it. I want to make sure that like whenever I press that go live button or that record button, that I'm just not another person putting out video games. That's whatever. There's millions of people doing that. I want to make sure that when people come to me, they're like, hey, not only does this guy play video games, but this dude also is, I don't know, maybe let's say they're dealing with depression or something that I've dealt with for my whole life. For many of you probably don't even know, I have dysthymia. It's a long form chronic depression. I've been medicated, been working on it, and that's the main reason why I kind of started doing this kind of stuff, because there are people out there who are still suffering in the way that I used to, and they're not getting the help they need. And I want to be able to be there to give them that extra push. So enough about the good stuff. That's not really the main reason why I wanted to make this video. I really wanted to go over the bad stuff, right? The stuff that causes more issues, things that we can stop doing or try to do less of, at least. So the number one thing that I think really affects mental health in the gaming communities is harassment and brigading. Harassment turns into brigading when groups coordinate attacks, spamming chats, mass reporting, and sending just hateful messages for absolutely no reason. I mean, there's really no reason to be hateful towards somebody. If you don't want to talk to somebody, or if you don't like somebody, just go the other way. Like, I get it, you're having a bad day, they might be having a bad day, you guys get into a brawl, whatever. There's no reason to yell slurs or to talk about their mama or whatever. That's childish. Most of the people here watching me, you're probably adults, probably around my age. And if you're not, if you're younger, start now. Start now being that person who refuses to get into a confrontation with somebody, because we need the online space, like the online realms, to be a better place for people later on. I grew up in Call of Duty lobbies. There was a lot of things said. I've heard a lot of things. And now that I'm looking at it, I kind of wish I just didn't have a mic back then. But I mean, that's me. I don't know. Some people like that. If that's you, cool. You can stay in those Call of Duty lobbies. I'll just keep playing my games. We're also going to go over doxing and just like cyber stalking in general. So once harassment leaves the game or the stream, it becomes a whole different thing. Doxing is whenever somebody uses things like Facebook or your Twitch or, I don't know, just any general information, your Xbox bio, whatever. They'll use general information that you trust to give out so that people kind of know who you are, but they compile it and they use it to find you, and they find out who you are in real life. They find out who your parents are, they find out if you have kids, your dog, they find out where you live, and then they start stalking you. And I'm telling you, that's illegal. First of all, cyber stalking is stalking. That is illegal. Doxing is against terms of service because it leads to illegal acts. Don't do it. I've seen this happen to a lot of people where they're like, say a really popular Twitch creator, you know, let's say they got like 20,000 people watch them at one time, and one person goes out and they have the ability to dox this said person, this streamer, and they spot him. Well, A, you doxed them. That's illegal. B, you swatted them. You called SWAT on them for a reason that was a complete lie. I don't care what you said they were doing or whatever, but so you called SWAT on these people, on this streamer, and you said they might have been doing A, B, and C, and SWAT pulls up, breaks down their door, and you're all laughing. But that's like a traumatizing thing for that streamer. Like, I've seen a lot of people not just take breaks, like these content creators, not just take a break, they disappear entirely. The way they look at it is it's not worth the risk. And the one thing that I don't allow in my Discord or around my community, or really in general, I end up blocking people for stuff like this, is using things like autistic, depressed, etc., as a weapon, right? Using it as an insult. You can call me weak if you want. I've had people call me weak. I've had people tell me that talking about my issues makes me weak. That's fine. You go be your big, strong, tough man and live your life. That's fine. I'm going to be over here and live my life. I'm not going to judge you for doing your thing. But don't turn around and call me weak because I want to talk about my mental health and try to help other people have better lives. And the issue with this is the fact that we don't see the person behind the screen, right? It's just another character. It's like, oh, I'm not talking to, I don't know, James or Frank or Lisa. I'm talking to a level 13 cleric that just made our whole entire team wipe because they weren't healing right. Those people are people behind the screen. They might be going and having some issue. Maybe their dog's choking, or maybe they're having an anxiety attack. You can't blame people for stuff like that. It's a video game. Because guess what happens? If you lose or you all wipe, do it again. You lost nothing. Life happens. There's times where I have to straight up walk away because something's going on. Somebody could be in our backyard, you know, on some drugs or something, and I gotta get the police involved, and I'm sorry, but that's more important than us clearing a raid boss. I don't care. I can do the raid boss next week, next month, next year. I don't care. I'm there to have fun. I'm there to be with my community. So I want to add in, this video kind of just became part of a thought. Like, the reason why I wanted to do this video was for many reasons, but there was one person specifically that I really wanted to highlight, and not in a bad way. If you see this person online, don't crap talk him. He was raised a certain way, and I don't agree with it. And I would say most of us probably don't agree with it if you're here supporting me. But what he says is, I'm a blue collar, tough, strong man mentality. So mental health is how we say for the week. You can be a blue collar, tough, strong man and still support mental health awareness. You could still support your cousin going through depression, or your best friend who just had an anxiety attack, or your uncle who still has PTSD from the war. You can still be a stereotypical big tough man and still support your friends and family. That's not something that, it's not one or the other. You can do both. And for the whole weak part, I'm sorry, but that is, I had to take a break after that. After I saw that, and I'm like, are there people actually out there that think that somebody being born with Down syndrome or autism or some other, you know, psychosis or whatever, that they're considered weak, like weaker, inferior? They're not. I'm sorry, they're not. So take it as you wish. Hate bomb my comments if you want. I really don't care. The rest of these things that I'm going to put up are from me asking people things that they've heard or seen online when it comes to mental health that they just don't agree with. Some wild statements, outdated, you know, rumors, whatever, however you want to have it. So I'm just gonna put those in here. I'm gonna let the video go for a little bit. Hope y'all have a great day. Remember to stay cordial. And again, if you need help, if you have any questions, check out my server, 18 plus. If you're not 18 plus, just straight up DM me. My Discord is AcroXP, capital A, capital XP, all one word. I'll try my best to help you out because nobody should have to go through this crap alone. And I get it, this is probably more of like a rant type video, and I promise I'm not going to do this. I'm not that type of content creator. I prefer making videos on games and little funny moments that we see in like Path of Titans or, you know, whatever games. So I get it if like this video isn't your jam, but you never know, there might be somebody out there that really needs this video. So I'm signing out. Hope you all have a good one. Stay cordial.